This is the third lecture in Do You Know What Money Is? It's Not What You Think. And I want to go through a few definitions that you will hear Austrian economics state or write to make sure you understand them. You may want to take some notes, and I will try to speak a little slow today. So these are definitions. In the previous lecture on this series, you heard the word praxeology. And I'll be reading some of this today instead of just stating it. It's the science of human action. The term was coined and defined as, quote, the science of human action, end quote, in 1890 by Alfred Espinas, Espinas, not sure how to pronounce that. But the most common use of the term is in connection with the work of Ludwig von Mises, Mises, and the Austrian School of Economics. It is the scientific study of human action, which is purposeful behavior. A human acts whenever he or she uses means to achieve an end that he or she subjectively values. Human action is thus teleological or intentional. A person acts for a reason, in other words. Another word you will see is epistemology, the theory of knowledge, especially with regard to its methods, validity, and scope. The investigation of what distinguishes justified belief from opinion. This is so important to me. Listen to this again. The theory of knowledge. It didn't show up on the TV today. Probably came about hundreds of years ago. Knowledge that we have today. The theory of knowledge, especially with regard to its methods, validity, and scope. The investigation of what distinguishes justified belief from opinion. Now, this is a hot one with me if you read my blogs. People have feelings about what they think is right. They don't have any kind of theory of knowledge. Next is very important to Austrians, choice and to God, because he made each of one of us individual. Choice and preference. Choice is the choice between alternatives, and these alternatives must be distinguishable, or they are not alternatives. Moreover, one must in some way present itself as more attractive than the other, or it cannot be chosen. Austrian economics deals with the preference you're actually acting on. The judgments you are not acting on could still be around. So action does not imply total judgment. It involves free will. Austrian economics involves free will, that will in which God gave us. So they are together on this concept of free will. Valuation, we talked about that, is intrinsic, internal. Objects have no value. You may think they have value because you pay this amount of money, but that value is only subjective to you. If I don't have any money, I cannot buy real estate that's being sold less than its value by some wealthy man. I can't do it. Value is internal to each person. Set aside, S-E-T, aside. When a choice is made to an object, a thing, time, or anything else, something else or other things must be set aside. You can't do both. Opportunity cost is close to set aside. The opportunity cost when performing an action is the value attributable to the best alternative foregone. In other words, it is the opportunities and actions given up for something else. So when you make a choice, you have to give up something else. To Austrians, all costs or opportunity costs because you're giving up something. Factors of production. Instead of giving you the definition here, I will just tell you what it is. Factors of production are the things that go into making up something. Let's take an automobile. The factors of production include rubber for the tire, steel, aluminum, glass for the windows, leather, or other type of material for the seats. Those are factors of production. They go into making up a final product that's sold on the shelf or to the consumer. And this is a little bit off the other definitions, but this is something that Ludwig von Mises mentioned, especially in his Human Action, his magnum opus. Act is called uneasiness. Acting man is eager to substitute a more satisfactory state of affairs for less satisfactory. And that's not always true to every human being, as Mises said, but most people want a more satisfactory state of affairs. His mind, talking about the man, acting man, imagines conditions which suit him better, and his action aims at bringing about this desired result. This incentive is what impels a man to act, and is always some uneasiness in our lives. That's this lecture here, and I'll have another one later.